What's up, Yarny Box Crocheters? Today we're making Bentley the Bee. In your Yarny Box kit, you'll find that the magic ring is already started for you. This is so that we can start off the project nice and easy and you don't have to worry about a complicated beginning. This is the very first round of the project. Here you'll see I'm pointing out the little V's. These are actually stitches, so you should be able to go around the circle and count 6 stitches or 6 V's. The stitches are what you're going to be working into in the next round in order to build on your project. You'll also find 2 stitch markers. This blue one here is marking the very first stitch of the round. That's where we're going to place the first stitch of the next round. The green stitch marker is marking the loop in which you're going to place your crochet hook to start working. You can see here that you can actually tighten and loosen this loop by pulling on the string that's attached to the ball of yarn. There are 2 different ways in which you can hold your crochet hook. This first way is like a knife. The second way is like a pencil. I personally find the pencil hold a little bit easier, but it's up to you. You can play around and hold your crochet hook however you'd like. Next, you're going to take the yarn that's attached to the ball of yarn and wrap it a couple times around your finger. And then I like to pinch the magic ring with my middle finger and thumb like this. Again, this is just how I like to work on my projects, but as you go along, you can play with how you want to hold everything. So you can remove the green stitch marker and pop in your crochet hook into that loop. You're going to want to tighten the loop to make it so that it's pretty tight on the crochet hook. Don't make it so tight that you can't move the crochet hook, but you definitely don't want it to be too loose. Something like this is appropriate. The trickiest part about learning how to crochet is learning how to hold everything in your hands. I definitely recommend rewatching the beginning of this video until you get the hang of holding everything. And if you accidentally undo your magic ring, I have a tutorial linked down below of how to redo that. So let's get started on round 2. We're going to start off by removing the blue stitch marker. You can pull on it a little bit and you'll find a little hole. That's exactly where we're going to be inserting our hook into to make the very first stitch of round 2. So once you pop out your stitch marker, you're going to insert your hook exactly where the stitch marker was. Before we insert a hook, I just want to make sure that you're holding your hook properly. So you want to make sure it's parallel to your body and make sure the hook is facing downwards. That's going to make it a lot easier to guide the yarn in and out of each stitch. So pop your hook into the stitch. Again, it looks like a V, so now you should have 3 little loops on your hook. Next, we are going to yarn over, which means we're grabbing the yarn with our crochet hook like this, and we are gliding the yarn through the first 2 little loops on our hook like so. And now we're going to do that again, so yarn over and pull the yarn through the 2 loops on your hook. This is called a single crochet. This is the first stitch of the round. Our next stitch is going in the exact same stitch that we were just in. So this stitch and not this stitch. We're going in the same hole that we were just in. So insert your hook into that little V, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops like so. Now you have 2 loops left on your hook, so yarn over and pull through those 2 remaining loops. What we just did is called an increase because we popped 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Now you're going to count down 2 stitches away from the loop or the first stitch that we made, and you're going to mark it with a stitch marker. Next, we're going to make another single crochet in the next available stitch. So that's going to be this one here. Pop in your hook. There's 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over again and pull through those second 2 loops. That was 1 single crochet. Now we're going to make our second single crochet in the same exact hole. So in the same place we just were, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, Yarn over again, pull through the second 2 loops. Again, this is called an increase because we placed 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So now we have 4 new stitches, but we've only worked into 2 stitches from the previous round. So here I'm just pointing out with my thumb the 4 new stitches that we've done. Carrying on to the next stitch, we are going to make a single crochet, and now we're going to make a second single crochet in the exact same hole. Moving on to the next stitch. Again, here's your first single crochet, and here's your second single crochet in the same stitch. Again, popping your first single crochet in there and your second single crochet. And now we're moving on to the very last stitch of the round. 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets. That completes round 2. So because we placed 2 single crochets in each of the stitches of the previous round, we now have 12 little V's or 12 stitches in this round. So you should be able to go around and count 12 stitches. So we are moving on to round 3. In round 3, we are only going to be increasing in every other stitch around the circle to get a total of 18 stitches at the end of this round. Remove your stitch marker and insert your hook, and then place 1 single crochet in the next available stitch. And now we're going to pause and mark this stitch. So remember, we are only increasing in every other stitch. So single crochet here, increase here, single crochet, increase. So we are moving into the next available stitch to make an increase, which again is just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Like so, and then single crochet in the next stitch and increase in the next stitch. Single crochet, increase. Single crochet, increase. Single crochet, and increase. And lastly, single crochet, and then increase. And now you should be able to go around the circle and count 18 stitches. So moving on to round 4, we can remove our stitch marker, place our first single crochet of the round, and then mark this stitch. So next we are going to be single crocheting and then increasing. Single crochet, increase. That's the pattern of this round. So again, in the next available stitch, we are placing a single crochet, and then we are going to be increasing in the next stitch. So single crochet, increase. Single crochet, and increase. Just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker, and we'll have 24 stitches at the end of this round. Coming up on the last stitch of the round, we should be ending on an increase. And now you should be able to go around the circle and count 24 stitches. So moving on to round 5, this is going to be our last round of increasing. And we are going to start off the round by making a single crochet and marking that stitch. And then we are going to be doing another single crochet and another single crochet. And then make an increase on that 4th stitch. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, increase. Single crochet, single crochet, and increase in that 4th stitch. And just keep repeating that pattern of 3 single crochets and then an increase until you get back to the stitch marker. You should have 30 stitches at the end of this round. So we're coming up on the last stitch of the round here. You should be ending on an increase. Now we have 30 stitches in our circle. Before we continue on to round 6, we are just going to weave in this tail end here. So grab your yarn needle that's in your Yarny Box kit and thread it onto the tail. And then pull that tail really tightly shut so that you close the initial magic ring. And all we're going to be doing is weaving in this tail with our yarn needle in and out of random stitches in the bottom of the circle. And this is just going to secure this tail and make it so that the magic circle doesn't come undone. So as you can see, I'm just weaving in back and forth random stitches in the bottom. I like to do this about 6 or 7 times. Now that should be nice and shut and it shouldn't come undone. For round 6, we are just going to be making a single crochet in every single stitch around the circle. And we're actually going to be doing that for the next 4 rounds. So I'll show you round 6 and then I'll speed up the video and you can just repeat this round over and over again. So to start off, we are just going to be making our first single crochet of the round and then marking that stitch. And then carry on making 1 single crochet in every single stitch around the circle until you get back to the stitch marker. We are not increasing anymore. So at the end of round 6, you should still have just 30 stitches in your circle. Coming up on the last stitch of the round, and there you have it. So for the next 3 rounds, we are going to be doing exactly what we just did. So just 1 single crochet in every single stitch around, and just be sure to mark the beginning stitch of every single round as you go on. And at the end of round 9, we are going to be doing a color change to black to make the first stripe of the bee. Once you're on the last round, which is round 9, pause at the last stitch before the stitch marker, and I'll show you what to do next. So I'm just going to speed up this next part of the video, and I'll meet you back once you've done 3 rounds of 30 single crochets. Alright, so we're coming up on the last couple stitches before our stitch marker. So this last stitch here before the stitch marker, we are just going to do half of 1 single crochet, and then we're going to pause here, leaving the 2 loops on your hook, and now we are going to do our color change. So you can remove your stitch marker, and then you are going to grab your black yarn in your Yarny Box kit, and you are just going to thread this black yarn through the 2 loops that were on your hook, just as if you're completing a single crochet. Just like so. And now you have the black yarn on your hook and ready to work. So make your next single crochet, which is actually the first single crochet of the next round, with the black yarn. And then pause here. We are going to tie the black and yellow yarn together so that it doesn't come undone. Make sure you don't yank too hard on this knot. Make sure it's a pretty loose knot. Secure enough so that it doesn't come undone, but not so tight that you're pulling the black yarn back through the back of the yarn. And now you've got the black stitch, which is the first stitch of the next round, so you can mark that stitch. And that's all there is to it for a color change. So now we are going to do 1 single crochet in every single stitch around the circle in black. And at the end of this round, you are still going to have just 30 stitches. Now that we're coming up on the last couple stitches here, we are again going to make a color change. So on the last stitch before your stitch marker, do half of the single crochet, pick up your yellow yarn, and then thread the yellow yarn through those 2 black loops on your hook. Just like so. And you don't have to worry about tying anything in a knot here because everything is already secured. So just remove your stitch marker, make your next stitch, which is going to be in yellow, and then mark that stitch. Now this is round 11, so we are just going to be doing 1 single crochet in every stitch around the circle. Again, no increasing, just 30 stitches in this round. So coming up on the end of round 11, again, we are making a color change back to black. So do that at the last stitch before your stitch marker. And then remove your stitch marker and make your first stitch of round 12. Round 12, just one single crochet in every stitch around in black. So for round 13, we are going to again make a color change at the end of round 12. So change your color to yellow. Remove your stitch marker, make your first stitch of the round in yellow. And then mark that yellow stitch. So for round 13, it's just one single crochet in every stitch around the circle in yellow for a total of 30 stitches. So at the end of round 13, we are changing it to black. This is going to be our last round of stripes. So for round 14, it's just one single crochet in every stitch around the circle in black. Coming up on the last stitch of round 14, this is going to be our very last color change for the bee, and we are changing our color back to yellow. So we can now cut the black yarn and carry on with the yellow. Round 15, we are just doing one single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 30 stitches. And I'm just going to secure the black tail end here by tying it in a double knot to the yellow strand so that it doesn't come undone. And again, just one single crochet in every stitch around the circle for this round. So round 15 marks the end of the body of the bee, and now we can insert our safety eyes. So grab your safety eyes from your Yarny Box kit, and they come in two different pieces. They have a black piece and a plastic piece. For now, just take the black piece and we are going to insert them in rounds 7 and 8 to make the eyes. So make sure you are inserting the eyes on the exact opposite side of the color change so that the color change doesn't show up on the face of the bee at all. And then we are going to count down 7 rounds from the top. So it is the line just above the black stripe. And you are just going to pop in your safety eyes where you'd like them. I like to make mine about 3 stitches apart. And the most important thing here is doing it on the opposite side of the first color change. Once you're happy with your eye placement, you can pop on the backs. They just click on, they're super easy. And that's it for the first part of the bee. In round 2, I'm going to show you how to finish off the body of the bee and make the wings and the antennas. Part 2 is going to be linked down below. I'll see you there.